Marine is sweating.
She's so
Boy, baby. Smile.
Being on our best behavior.
How are you, sir? Hey, you know, more drink?
Stiletto. She's apparently homeschooled from what I'm told.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2013 Hall of Fame Banquet. Thank you for coming. If I can have your attention, please, I'm going to introduce tonight to you some of the luminaries who are in our crowd tonight. First of all, I want to recognize our officers and directors of the National Skeet Association. Sitting here at the front table, our president, Robert DeFrancesco, and his wife, Mary Alice. Our Vice President, Jack Tans. Our Secretary Treasurer, John Howe. Where's John tonight?
He's on his way.
He's on his way. There he is, right there. Our Executive Director, Michael Hampton Jr., and his wife, Chris. Our past president, Jim Gast. Where's Jim? There he is. And our NSSA Director, Linda Mays. I also want to recognize our Executive Committee who do a wonderful job for us and give a lot of their time and effort. From Zone 1, please stand Michael Furchaw. Right over there. Zone 2, Andrew Engel. Andrew tonight. He's here. From Zone 3, Mr. Tom Pavlak. Obvious favorite. Zone 4, Kim Keff. Kim Keff. From Zone 5, Don Kelly. Our Zone 6 Executive Committee man, Gary Matthews. Zone 7 Committeeman Bill Burke. From Zone 8, our Chief Referee John Batty. And our Zone 9 Committeeman Chris Naylor. I also want to recognize our past presidents. These guys have served, they've done our association well, they've given a lot of their time and effort. It's a big job, and when I call your name, will you please stand and keep standing, and we'll give you a round of applause at the end. First of all, our immediate past president, Jim Gast. Ted Hatfield. Ted is here. Ted. Bill Harder. Where's Bill? Hollis Boss. Peter Coyne. I know Peter's here. There he is. Al Magyar. Bill Batty. Bruce Kingner. Scheduled to attend. And Jim Conley. All these men have served as president, and let's give them a big round of applause. Next, we're going to recognize the members of the Hall of Fame who are in attendance tonight. So if you will stand, just stand up and give a bow as I call your name. This lady has won 6 ladies world championship titles and in the Hall of Fame, Mary Alice DeFrancesco. 2003 Ray Bowler inductee, Peter Coyne. Eight-time captain of the Ladies All-American team and has won 25 Ladies World Shoot titles, Rebecca McCumber. The 1966 20-gauge champion of the world, Fritz Wiedergott. This man won 2 World Shoot titles in the same year, 91. He won the 20 and the 28 gauge on back-to-back nights, Dr. Jim Biddle. Scheduled to appear, but I haven't seen him in the crowd yet, the 1993 Ray Bowler inductee, Dr. Ted Hatfield. Is Ted in the crowd tonight? You're not here, Ted, you don't get the applause, buddy. 1981 28-gauge world champion, 1984 410 world champion, Dave Sterrett. In 1968, this man was involved in one of the longest shoot-offs ever in our sport. 1968 co-champion, the 12-gauge event, Tommy Heffron. In 1999, this shooter won the overall championship of the world with a perfect 550 out of 550, Bill Burke. The 2005 28-gauge world champion, George Lear. In 1976, this man became the first man in NSSA history to rank a perfect 550 out of 550 in the World Skeet Championships, Mr. Charlie Parks. (2010) Ray Bowler inductee, R.U. Myers. This man won the overall championship of the world in 1977 and won 2 12-gauge world championships back-to-back, John Shima. The 2005 Ray Bowler inductee, Trish Magyar. And the 1980 overall champion of the world, he had to do it against a shoot-off with the great Wayne Mays, Al Magyar. I hate to ask this question, is there anybody I've forgotten in the crowd tonight? Howie Altman. I'm sorry, Howie. Were you on this original list? Were you the last minute guy? I'm sorry. He was last minute? Okay. Last minute attendee, Howie Altman.
Over there.
Uh-oh, we're going over there. Okay.
Always around somewhere.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ron. I'm sorry, Ron. Ron Wilson. Ray Bowler inductee, Ron Wilson. 2000, that's right, 2000. All right, anybody else? Going once. Twice. All right. I want to also recognize the NSSA staff who put this banquet together. They're sitting right, I see them right back there. They're Jenna Becker, Jenna, Nikki Martin, and Olivia Gracia are the girls that put this together. Let's give them a round of applause. And now I'll call Mr. Peter Coyne up to present our invocation. Peter?
Okay, if we could all bow our heads. Lord, we thank you for this food and the many blessings you have bestowed upon us. The opportunity to come together here to renew old friendships and make new ones. To enjoy enjoy the camaraderie and competition of our sport, and to applaud the accomplishments of those we honor tonight. But before we begin, let us pause a moment to remember those members who are no longer with us. We ask, Lord, that you watch over us as we pursue our own goals and guide us safely back home so that we may all meet back here again next year. Amen.
And we'll begin with some presentations. Our first presentation tonight, presentation of the annual Robert Nesbitt Award. The Robert Nesbitt Award is an award for the veteran, age 70 to 80, the veteran with the highest overall average last year. The winner of the Robert Nesbitt Award this year, with a 97.26 overall average, Richard Fukatsu. The next award tonight is for the NSSA All-Around Gun Club. The All-Around Gun Club of the Year is the club that drew the largest combined number of NSSA targets and NSCA targets. The All-Around Gun Club of the Year this year is Forest City Gun Club. Accepting the award for Forest City, Zach Guritas and Jackie Allman. Zach and Jackie will be accepting the award.
One more time.
The next award will be for the Club of the Year. The Club of the Year is a club that shows improvement, development, and overall good guys at the Club of the Year. And this year, I'm very proud to announce that the Club of the Year is the Dallas Gun Club. And accepting the award for the Dallas Gun Club, your host and the voice of the Shoot-Off Stadium Field, Mr. Billy Ray Song. All right, the next award will be the Recognized Clubs of the Year. What are these? These are the clubs that throw the most NSSA targets per field in their category. The first category is small clubs that have 1, 2, or 3 skeet fields. These are clubs with most targets per field, 1 through 3 fields. The first Recognized Club of the Year, they're always on the list. They do a great job. Really close to here, the Bandera Gun Club, accepting the award. Anybody from the Bandera Gun Club here tonight? J.M. Clements accepting the award. The next small club of the year, the Coast Rifle and Pistol Club. There they are, accepting the award, Randy Brownlee and Russell Walker. And the next small club of the year, the Recognized Club of the Year, the small club category, the Medford Gun Club. Dave Wells accepting for the Medford Gun Club. All right, next we move to the Intermediate Club. These are the clubs that have between 4 and 7 fields, most targets per field. The first Intermediate Club in the Imperial Pope Gun Club, your executive committee person, Ken Kett, is accepting the award for Imperial Pope. And the next Intermediate Club, the Palatka Ski Club. Palatka, Dave Robson, accepting for the Palatka Ski Club. Club of the Year in the Intermediate Club category. And the next Recognized Club of the Year in the Intermediate Club category, the Syntex Club. Central Texas, Syntex Club accepting Henry Wordsburg. All right, we move to the large clubs. The large clubs, 8 fields or more, most targets per field. If you haven't been to this gun club, you need to go. It's like the Field of Dreams. The St. Joe Valley Conservation Club, Bruce Christian accepting for St. Joe Valley.
And the next large club.
And the next large club, recognized club, the Tucson Trap and Skeet Club. Tucson. Larry Lincoln accepting the award tonight.
And the last recognized.
These are the clubs that throw the most NSSA targets. You know what that means? It means they have to have a lot of folks working hard to throw all those NSSA targets. And the last recognized large club, the Kern County Gun Club, Kern County, accepting the award in Al Stewart for the Kern County Gun Club. Our next award tonight is for the Association of the Year. That's which state's Association of the Year. The criteria for Association of the Year includes growing their membership, promotion of the sport, timely reporting. In other words, just about the best association in our country, in our organization for that year. And this year, the Association of the Year, the Michigan State Skeet Shooting Association. Dave Scheibel accepting. Dave Scheibel. Our next presentation tonight are 3 inductees to the Referee Honor Roll. The Referee Honor Roll, an important part of our association. These are referees who have devoted a huge portion of their life for little pay, for nothing, to officiate your game, truly out of the love of the sport. The first referee tonight, which is going to be entered on the Referee Honor Roll, John Kujowski.
Good evening and thank you very much. Gratitude can sometimes be as annoying as whininess. I don't want to be whiny, but it is very important for me to say that I express my deep gratitude to those who blessed me with this honor. This especially goes to all the wonderful people I've met since 1976. Over these 36 years, I've tried to follow the age-old saying, a referee should be part of the field. Should not even be noticed. Of course, I was a heck of a lot skinnier when I was told that. It was always important to me. I started officiating because I wasn't good enough to compete, and with a young and growing family, the money wasn't available. Because I wanted to be with the Skeet family, I chose another path. I have no regrets. There are so many people who have helped and were generous beyond imagination that it would take me forever to thank them all. Thank you all for the I have so many great competitors, fellow officials, sponsors and event organizers, spectators over these many years. Of course, I must mention my family, who put up with my many absences over the years. Norman Thomas, a politician, said, "The secret of a good life is to have the right loyalties, to hold them in the right scale of values." I try to follow that advice by being loyal to this sport, the values of competition. In that vein, I want again to thank all of you and pass on the hope that this wonderful sport continues forever. Just remember, life is good, and thank you very much.
The next referee, whose name will be inscribed on the referee honor roll, many of you knew him. He refereed for many, many years, all over the country, Scotty Mitchell. Accepting the award for Scotty is his wife, Lori.
I accept this from my husband, Scotty. I'm just sorry he couldn't accept it himself. He enjoyed skeet shooting, but when he became a referee, that was it for him. He really enjoyed it. He enjoyed the time when he spent with Cooge and Bob Newhouse when they would go refereeing, and he'd come back and the stories he would tell me and the people he met meant so much to him, and I'm glad he enjoyed it so much. And that's all I can say. Just thank you very much for all the kindness that you showed him, and he met so many great people in the game. Keep it up, guys.
And the next referee, whose name will be inscribed on the referee honor roll, Bill Mock from Pennsylvania. Accepting the award for Bill Mock, his daughter Patricia.
Thank you. On September 13th, 2012, the world lost the greatest man that only a select few of us got to know. My father, Bill Mock. He was a coal miner from Pennsylvania. He began skeet shooting back in the 70s, but for whatever reason, his true passion was refereeing. It gave him a chance to meet his heroes, like all of you. Men, women, and children who enjoy shooting this great sport of skeet. In 2010, when the NSSA honored him with the Referee of the Year award, it was one of the proudest moments of his life. To him, it was like winning the Nobel Prize. He loved everything about skeet shooting and was always trying to recruit new people into the sport. And I would like to thank all of you for being a part of his life, because that is something that he truly treasured. And being inducted into the referee's honor roll would have been one of his proudest achievements. It is truly an honor to accept this award on his behalf. Thank you.
And now we're going to present the Jay and Noah Schatz High Average Leader Awards for last year. Our 12-gauge high average leader last year with a 99.68 to win the high average award this year, Mr. Ron Hurlbert. Jay Schatz was a big contributor to our sport, a tremendous supporter of our game, and his son Noah continues to support our game with these high average awards. And Noah sometimes blesses us with his presence, but not tonight, I'm afraid. Congratulations, Ron. And next, we're going to do the 20-gauge high average award with a perfect 1,000 average, no misses for the year. At the same time, I think we'll do the 28-gauge high average award with a 99.67 average. And the 410 High Average Award with a 99.38 average.
We have two hands, Robert.
You'll have to get some help over there, Bob. And the Doubles High Average Award with a 99.43 average. That obviously means that he probably won also the high overall average with a 99.69 high overall average. If you were at the shooting complex yesterday watching the shoot-offs, you watched him win the Mini World with a 400 straight, you watched him win the 20 gauge and the 410. LP Giambrone III.
There we go. Helping hands.
Some would use the term dominates.
There's one more, boss.
One more, hold on. No cheating.
Don't blow each other out. Come on. Fight for position.
And now the Jay and Noah Shots Ladies Powerball Average Award goes to the 8-time captain of the Ladies All-American team and with 25 Ladies World titles, Rebecca McCumber. Rebecca's high overall average last year, an incredible 98.74. 98.74. Now we move into your Hall of Fame inductees. I'd like to call to the podium Mr. Fritz Wiedergott, Hall of Fame member himself, to induct the next member of your Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Robert. The first thing I was asked to do is to present the Ray Bowler Award. The second thing was to keep it short. Therefore, I'm going to begin to let you know that I have made a solemn promise to keep my brief speech like a woman's skirt, long enough to cover the subject, but short enough to make it interesting. And yes, less than 5 minutes. This speech is 3 minutes and 36.5 seconds long. I'm a very proud member of the Minuteman Sportsman's Club. And I have the privilege and the pleasure this evening to present to you another Minuteman member by the name of William Batty. I've known Bill for 35 years, and he's become a very good friend, and I've admired him for a lot of things that he's done. But Bill is a unique individual who has given so much to the sport of competitive shooting, and especially to our sport of skeet shooting. When you read the summary, it will only take you about 4 minutes. However, it does not expose the passion and the hard work he has given tirelessly over these years. Having worked alongside Bill before the days of computers, I know the long days and nights that he worked miracles of perfection that are now being done by computers. Surely no one has ever made the transition from paper and pencil to the printouts from our computer-driven programs. Watching Bill and his trusted cashier, Russ LaBelle, mimic the episodes of Felix and Oscar as the odd couple is both funny and exciting. Listening to Bill being called Barrister Bill or the ultimate consumer are only a few of the nicknames tagged with Bill. But you'll never hear anything nasty. This is a credit to his diplomacy and his calm demeanor. I have often told him he needs to learn to say no, because he hardly has ever turned away a plea for help from anyone. Many, many shoot programs have been designed and produced for member clubs in our state of Massachusetts. And I also know and am aware of the zone and state programs from other surrounding states and some of the out-of-state clubs. A number of times he has volunteered to sit at the registration desk for new clubs holding their first registered shoot is outstanding. Besides the physical work Bill has given, he has also been an instigator of new proposals, such as when he was president of the Mass State Skeet Shooting Association. He started the Massachusetts Skeet Shooting Hall of Fame in 1982, in which Ned Matsuki and Dick Shaughnessy were both the first inductees. He also instigated the NSSA Award, which mimics the Ray Bowler Award that the NSSA
is intelligent enough to give each year. It should be noted here, and I want to take advantage of it, that Ned Matsuki, another Minuteman member, was the very first NSSA Ray Bowler Award recipient in 1970. As you might expect, I could come up with more stories and escapades related to Bill. But I have to live up to my promise to be short-winded and keep you from dozing. So without further ado, may I present to you the 2013 recipients of the NSSA Ray Bowler Award, my friend, Bill Batty.
Thank you, Fritz. I've been given about 3.5 minutes. So when you get the call from Mary saying this is your limit, keep it short. Fritz, thank you very much. What Fritz forgot to tell you was that the first 3 inductees in the Massachusetts Hall of Fame included himself. And the only time I ever had a row with anybody at the club was an argument over something. I don't even remember what it was, but he and I went at it in the middle of the floor at Minuteman one time. And it was a little bit of a row. But I'd like to, this is quite an honor for me. I've been around for a while now. I used to be a rookie, but I guess I'm not anymore. I'd like to thank and introduce my family. My wife Jan, my brother Bo, and his wife Joanne, if you would stand up. These are individuals who have put up with me. And if it weren't for Jan putting up for me, I certainly wouldn't be here. I'm not going to go on to how I started shooting skeet and the great honor it's been to be part of my other family, which is all of you out there, and all the people that are here at the World Shoot and across the country shooting skeet, because this is truly a family that I adore and have supported for years and will continue to do so. The Massachusetts shooters that are here, I thank you for coming. The Zone 1 shooters that are here, I thank you for coming. In 1981, I came to the World Shoot as a member of the Club of the Year, the Massapog Sportsman's Club, and I shot with kind of a strange squad, which included Louise Terry, now Andrea Lear, Ed Shearer, I believe, and it was quite an experience. It's an experience that kept me coming back for the last 31 years, so, and it's been a lot of fun. 2 or 3 things. First of all, you have a great executive committee, which I think I've heard over the years, oh, they're in it for themselves and this and that, and they don't think of the shooter. And those naysayers could be the most incorrect people in the world, because without the executive committee, who really, they get paid a lot, you know. They do all this for nothing. They're the highest paid individuals in the sport. And without them, we wouldn't be here. And I think Mike Hampton Sr. is in the audience. And I used to go head to head with Michael when I was a Zone 1 committee man. And yet, without Michael and what he's done for this club and association, none of us would be here. And of course, we have Michael Wayne Hampton Jr., who has taken over, and he's done a great job. The important thing to remember is our roots, and we must support our clubs, and I charge the executive committee now with doing that and getting down. We've brought the association up to sound financial grounds, And it's time to go back to our grassroots and really support our clubs, because that's where everybody starts. And along with that, we're running out of people to do the work. We have some great shooters in this sport, but we lack, for some reason, I don't know the reason, people to come up and replace some of these people, most of you out there who help run the association and run the shoots. And I don't know what the answer is, but I think that it's important to honor those people with these types of awards on the national level, state level, and local level. And with that, my 3.5 minutes are up. And I'd like to thank the EC, all of the shooters, especially the Zone 1 and Massachusetts shooters who I have worked with so closely, and the staff and the staff of the NSSA who have just done a wonderful job. Thank you, Olivia. Happy birthday. And with that, again, thank you very much. It's an honor to be up here.
Before we go to our next inductee, I was reminded by Bill Batty that we have in the room someone who needs to be recognized, a man who did so much for our sport, former executive director of the National Skeet Shooting Association, Michael Hampton Sr. Please stand and be recognized. And now I'd like to call to the podium to induct our next Hall of Fame inductee, Fred Shantz.
This is such an unfamiliar spot for me. I'm the quiet one of our group. So, and just shortly before I came up, Greg told me I had to say the line that I always tell Sue, which is nobody likes her very much. I mean, we basically just keep her around so that Greg will cook for us and buy some drinks. He's really good at the wild game night. But I am very proud to be here to present Sue. I'm also very, very fortunate to also know LP Giambrone, one of my best friends in Skeet, and has been now for probably 13, 14 years. We do have other names for LP, but we won't go into that.
Thank you, Fred.
You're welcome. And as I look at Sue and LP, I just can't imagine any more different paths that you could take to the Hall of Fame. And if I'm not mistaken, one of those things that the selection committee looks at while trying to get their nominees is trying to get them to the end of their career. Sorry, guys. Not my rule. But I think you still have a little bit left in the tank. But I would, watch it. I was talking to one of Sue's greatest competitors who was honored here tonight, Becky McCumber, and she was gracious enough to give me some inside information. Oh, and by the way, I was also informed to keep this under 5 minutes, but it wasn't by Mary. It was by the enforcer, Al Magyar. Enforcer. Sorry, Al. We'll see if I can get through this. But she gave me some information, and basically her first thought to tell me to tell you was her first meeting with Sue. She was introduced to Sue, and she really didn't catch her last name very well. So 2 or 3 weeks later, they meet at another club somewhere, and Becky just cannot remember the pronunciation of her name. I don't remember it half the time. You know, she couldn't remember whether it's Jose, Huzai. So in a panic, she just said, Hussy. Which, as Sue will tell you, if you spell her name in a speller checker, that's what comes up. So when she realized what she said, Becky froze and expected Sue to just glare at her and turn and walk away. But no, Sue got a big smile on her face, just laughed, and they just hugged it out. So that was a great thing for them. But the name Hussy has really stuck. I mean, even some of her male friends call her Hussy, and I don't know what that's about. Sue is a very determined individual. When she wants something, she goes after it. The one story that I can say that illustrates this fact is that she was once a young college graduate working in a music shop when she wanted to, own one day. So her boss, an older gentleman, happened to, let's set it up. The official report says that he fell down the steps. But the unofficial report is she pushed it. So, I mean, she is intense at times. I mean, when she gets out on a shoot-off field, she is very intense and pretty much wants to rip your throat out and hand it to you. She's nicey nice afterwards, but she can get intense. Sue has a great shooting resume. She has great accomplishments that she's done. She's also a member of the Ohio State Skeet Association's Hall of Fame. She was inducted in 2002. She has 10 open state titles. She's a 5-time ladies world champion, 13-time runner-up, and I feel you on that. I'm not a ladies runner-up, but I got a lot of runner-ups in the state, so I understand. One of the things that I remember most in shooting with her at our home club at Sportsman Shooting Center in Canton, Ohio, is back in 97, 98. She shot her highest HOA score of a 399. During that last box of the 410, she missed a high 5, I believe, and she was so disappointed. She came back and she said, "I'm so sorry." She shocked me because I'm like, "You're not done yet." So that was one of my memorable experiences with her. She just hung her head and thought she just shamed the whole squad. Kind of like LP does all the time. That wasn't in here, I just threw that in. But both she and her husband, Greg, do a lot for the game of Skeet and also for Sportsman Shooting Center. To be honest, I don't know what we would do at Sportsman's without her and Greg. They provide an awesome team and do everything that they can for Skeet there. You might think that some of some of this is kind of harsh. You should really be around us just before we shoot. It's, you got to put the big girl panties on. So I'm at the end, and I could keep going, but I got the time limit. But with that, I'm very honored and thrilled to present Sue into the 2013 class of the NSSA Hall of Fame.
Hey, thanks, Fred.
The floor is yours.
To say that I'm honored to stand here this evening is an understatement, and to be selected to join a group as distinguished as our NSSA Hall of Fame is an honor that I never dreamed possible. And while I too have a time limit and promise to keep it brief, there are a few people this evening who deserve special thanks. First of all, my mom and dad, who never saw a reason that a girl shouldn't be out shooting just like the boys were. And even through the rebellious years that saw me switch from track to skeet, always supported my shooting and competing. And neither of them is with us any longer, but I'd like to think that somewhere they're smiling at what they started. Next, Mr. Paul Varga. Some of you know Paul. He's a local shooter from Ohio who met me at a trap shoot and suggested that I give skeet a try instead. And then he introduced me to registered shooting and lent me a gun to shoot for so long that I think he forgot it was his until I finally bought one and returned it. Paul's no longer able to shoot, but he still stops in at my office regularly to check and see if I shot well and remind me that I still need to work harder. For many years, Jim Murphy has been a mentor, coach, and friend who's spent countless hours on the skeet field with me. And while those of you who know him may find this hard to believe, he's always been willing to share his time and knowledge. And I think it's safe to say that without his support and encouragement, I wouldn't be standing here this evening. Then there's Fred. And I have some nice things to say about him.
Only believe it.
But the person for whom I have the greatest respect for his dedication to the game of skeet is Fred. His focus and dedication to practice and hard work sets an example that I can only aspire to. And this morning while we were shooting, I chipped a target and he turned around and said, "Don't shoot like me." I'd be pleased to shoot like you any day of the week.
Thank you.
And last but not least, my husband Greg. Greg not only loads all the shells, cleans guns, drives to shoots, and has learned the joys of running registered shoots. He's given up all of his hobbies and pastimes because skeet was something we could do together. He's my #1 supporter, and he deserves this honor every bit as much as I do. As for the rest of you who time doesn't permit me to thank individually, please know you all hold a very special place in my heart. And if friends are the family we choose for ourselves, then I'm truly blessed to have my skeet family. Thank you.
And now I'd like to ask to the podium to induct our next Hall of Fame inductee, Mr. David AAR.
Can you hear me, LP? I wanted to ask you, what does this mean, LP? Okay. You know, skeet's a great game. There's no other sport in the world that you'll meet people so nice and family-oriented people like you will in skeet. Just a great game, and it's been an honor for me to grow up with LP. Maybe I haven't grown up yet. Is that right? Anyway, we've had a good time through the years. When I first met LP and Paul and Terry and all that, they immediately just embraced me, and just great family tradition, and he married a lovely little gal, Suzanne, and you know, LP's just got, if you don't know him, you need to know him. He's just such a great, intelligent, kind person. that you'll ever meet. So, what did you say, wrap it up?
Wrap it up.
Let's go, LP, get up here.
Thanks, David. I got a little speech here, but boy, that's a tough one to follow after these two guys. Y'all need to find other people to shoot with. In all seriousness, guys, I want to first of all thank the association for inducting me into such an elite group of people. This was one of the things as a child, growing up when the gun was taller than I was. Some of you guys may still argue that the gun is taller than me, but I beg to differ. But, what's that?
The gun's still taller than you.
Thank you.
Who are you shooting with next year again?
Right.
But in all seriousness, guys, the game has given me so much. The association, thank you for inducting me in such an elite group. It is truly an honor to be standing amongst you guys tonight. The amount of people that I need to thank is endless, and you know who you are. But it did start with my home club in South Louisiana, good old Louisiana boy. Unfortunately, that club saw its last day yesterday, guys. It was with a heavy heart yesterday when I was shooting. My grandfather was here with us. Pop, thank you for being here tonight, and you know Mama was watching with us. But the club that I grew up at, guys that would lend me advice. When I was shooting 1100s for the first couple of years, one guy offered me an over and under to help get me to the next level, and guys that would actually work for my father and I when we needed to travel to go out of town to make these big name shoots. Those little things, I think a lot of times people tend to forget about those kind of things, but not me. Those little things really stick close to my heart. We had a great group of guys at our gun club that would stick by my father and I, cover for us, and make sure the club would still be okay. And Louisiana folks. I know there are some of you with us here now tonight, and there are a lot of Louisiana guys that if they were not in my life, I would not be where I am today. And I want to thank you guys. You know who you are. For example, I had gotten to a point in my career I needed a little bit better equipment. A couple of guys put together their own funds, bought a gun because it was no secret my family did not have the most money, but they put good equipment in my hands and allowed me to get to the next level, and that was where Mr. John Ramagli came in, and he's with us tonight. Thank you very much, John, for taking a big risk on a little snot-nosed 14-year-old kid. But, Rags was there through everything, and I really appreciate that, John. You were with us through thick and thin. You went on a limb, and I really appreciate that. And Mr. David AAR. Well, after that speech. Thank you, buddy. A man that taught me that, more than, there was a lot more to just skeet shooting and winning. That you need to be a gentleman. I try. Need to look at things, outside the box. And David, I truly appreciate all the lessons you've taught me. And I know you'll still continue to teach me. I hope. Thank you, David. Maybe. My grandfather, as I mentioned earlier, was able to make it here yesterday. And, I thought it was a pretty good day. Thank you, Pops, for being here for that. My parents. There's really not enough that I can say about both of my parents. My father, who introduced me to the sport, of course, and he made me beg for a few weeks before I can actually fire a shotgun. Thanks, Dad. I begged him for a few weeks, but once we got started, we spent countless hours at the South Louisiana Gun Club in New Orleans, trying to perfect our game and talking about different theories and, what works, what doesn't work. And a man to swallow his pride when I was 14 years old, to say that, my son is not going to listen to me anymore. Hey, it's not my fault. I was a teenager, right? But he turned me over to a coach, Eddie Frances, that really turned me around and actually elevated both of our games. So I owe that to my father and my mother, who worked a full-time job, was a mom, cleaned the house, and when we went out of town to skeet shoots, would cover the gun club for us. Thank you, Mom. She deserves a round of applause. All the thankless jobs that our moms perform. Thank you, Mom. And in most recent times, my wife, Suzanne, she encouraged me to go back to school, get my master's, start my business, which I'm very thankful for, who has been very supportive throughout the entire process. Thank you, sweetheart. And now we're expecting our first child, baby boy, due January 1. Which I think is appropriate for me to announce my retirement. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. She wants me to be here. And also to Miss Mary Abear, who never comes to skeet functions.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you, Mary, for being here. I appreciate that. But most importantly, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for blessing me with all that I have, my family, my friends, my extended family in the skeet community, who has given me all that I have, and I thank him all. God bless. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.